In this video, we're going to be answering the most frequently asked questions that we get about keto on our channels. Channels because we have two. In our main channel, Keto Twins, it has over 100,000 subscribers now, and on that channel we do cooking and testing recipes, and we just try to make fun keto content. We're going to be trying to answer all of the most frequently asked questions that we get on our channels about keto, but before we begin, one of the most frequently asked questions that we've been getting in general over the past couple weeks is, what is this thing and why is it here? And this is a Lettuce Go farm stand. It is a hydroponic growing system that we purchased months ago, and it's in the middle of a reset right now where we have to take it apart, clean it out. Usually it has beautiful produce, but we harvested that all and we're turning it around right now, and we're hoping to grow some new seedlings to put into this farm stand. We do have it linked in the description if you guys want to check it out. We bought it a while ago. We're really happy with it so far. I know that a lot of you are going to ask what this is. So right now it looks like a UFO though.
Right.
So the first question that we get asked about keto and our weight loss journey is,
how long have we been on keto? The short answer to that is all of our life on and off, but most recently we have been following a technically keto lifestyle since January of 2019.
So we have been off and on keto so many times over the past 20 years. We started doing keto when it was formerly known as Atkins back in high school, and it worked well for us then, but we were just not ready to commit to it as a lifestyle. So Sarah and I would go through months where we would do it very intensively, track everything, worry about everything, and then fall off and gain it all back and more. And we repeatedly did this. I would say at least twice a year we made a really good attempt at it, where we were on it for a couple months at least at a time. There have been periods of time though, where Sarah and I have been on keto for years. I did several bouts of keto that were at least a year long in the middle there. And I lost 80 pounds. I gained back 100.
Yeah. The second question is, how long did it take us to lose the weight? And it varies for both of us because we kind of started at different times, but just my story, I was getting married in August of 2019. So when January rolled around, I was really motivated to lose weight. So I would say that I lost the majority of my 62-pound weight loss from January all the way up into my wedding of August 2019. My starting weight was 242 pounds, and then I got down to 178 or 179 on my wedding day. I went from 262 pounds to 195 pounds January to August. I really tried hard because I had to catch up to her for her wedding day. So I still weighed a little bit more than you. So I had more to lose, but that really put a fire under me to start losing quickly. So I really stuck with it hard. Then I was 195 at Sarah's wedding. And I've never really been below 180, I want to say, in my life, 179. I actually got into the 160s, and that was in late 2020. So it took about 2 years for me to lose 100 pounds. I would say that if you guys are thinking oh, I can compare myself to you guys, there will be periods where you lose nothing. Yeah.
And there will be periods where you gain. Just know that it takes a long time, especially after you've lost a majority of the weight. Every pound that you lose will get harder.
Yeah.
And you also, right?
Yeah.
It took you about a year to lose the next 15 pounds or so.
Right. I mean, that should be encouraging to some people though, that you're going to lose a lot of the weight in the beginning. A lot of people don't reach maintenance. They just get caught in the cycle of gaining and losing it. Don't worry about those 10 extra pounds. We can worry about that when you get there, you know? Okay, so moving on. So the next question that we get asked all the time is, how old are we? And mentally or physically? Physically, I am 38, gonna be 39 this year, which is hard for me to believe. I don't feel my
mentally
age.
22.
Mentally 22, yeah, for sure. A lot of people are surprised by that, I guess.
We just don't really take ourselves too seriously. And I think that helps us stay young mentally.
Young at heart.
Young at heart. I mean, maybe not physically that much anymore, but mentally, we are still definitely 22, 23 years old. So yeah, we just try to keep it light, keep it fun.
Growing old is privilege.
Right.
Denied to many. And I try to think about that a lot. The next question that we get asked all the time is how tall we are. And this varies because Emily is slightly taller than me, but I say I'm 5'9.5".
She's lying. She's 5'10". I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11". I measured myself at the doctor's office. I'm 5'11". You're 5'10".
Yeah, probably. I say 5'9.5" for some reason.
Because 5'10" is really tall. So we're pretty tall. I think people get confused because they see us at that table, but we have to shoot that way because we need to get the food in the frame.
Oh, a lot of people ask that too. Why do we sit at a big table and with little chairs? It's because we have a very small filming setup, and it's the only way to capture the food and us in the same shot. We've tried to sit at a normal sized table, and there's just too much of a distance. So it's just the logistics. Hopefully someday we can afford to to get a filming setup that better suits our needs. For now, we're just filming this in our basement. So my basement, I guess. She doesn't live here.
Right.
Just in case you didn't know that.
Oh, we don't? Yeah, there's another question. No one actually has asked that, though. If I live here, I don't.
So the next question that we get asked is, do you count macros? And the shorter answer to that is no, we do not. Like Emily mentioned earlier, we have been on this lifestyle for many a decade, and
many a moon.
We can kind of tell what the carb count is going to be of something generally, like for meats, vegetables. You know, if I'm in the grocery store and I'm picking up a new item, I will definitely check the carb count, but it's not something that I need to do on a daily basis because oftentimes I do not allow those sorts of things in my household to begin with. Regular chips or regular pretzels or things like that.
You know, in the beginning when you're just learning what has carbs in it and what doesn't, then yeah, count them and try to stick to around 20 net carbs a day. But you know, if you're sticking to meat, keto-friendly vegetables, and fat, I don't count them. Like, if I want more green beans, I'm having more green beans. I don't care. They're whole, nutritious food. I eat as much as I want. I eat until I'm satiated. I don't overeat or anything like that, but I do eat until my heart's content. And I feel like just eating this way, I'm able to stop at an appropriate time, and it works for me. But in the beginning, you may be confused as to what has carbs in it and what doesn't. And until you learn, then yes, you should probably keep a tally. But, you know, after you've been on this for how many years, it's kind of like you can guesstimate what it does. And if something has a lot of carbs in it, I can tell almost right away just by the way it tastes. Like, oh, this, not that it just tastes so good, but if something has real sugar in it or it's not diet something, it just tastes different to me because your taste buds will change. And so no, we don't count anything, but does that mean that you should? You gotta like kind of go with where you are at your own journey. If you're just beginning this, keep a tally. We don't really think that you need to really weigh everything out. That we don't teach that at all on our channel. Like we just say, eat meat, keto-friendly vegetables, and butter, fat, whatever. And you don't really have to count much because your body knows what these foods are. And it will stop you in time. Unlike carbs, sugar, and all of these other
empty
foods.
calories.
Right. The empty carbs, empty calories that we used to eat. My body never told me to stop on time. It would be way too late.
There was a never-ending pit.
Right. I always say this next thing. If you're new here, no one gets addicted to eating steak and broccoli. Nobody. Okay? My husband said that he did. I'm like, they don't eat it to death, pretty much. Steak and broccoli.
Very hard to do that.
Right, because your body knows what those things are. It does not know what a ho-ho is. It doesn't know what a croissant is, okay? Anyway, so if you eat simply, plainly, flavorfully, then I don't think that you have to count it. If you get used to this lifestyle, then you probably don't have to. The next question that we get all the time, which is kind of like a broad question to get in a comment section, why am I not losing weight? And honestly, I could just say, I don't know. But the answer could probably be that either you are not being patient enough, or sadly,
you're eating too much.
Eating too much. Yeah. I don't like saying it.
Yeah.
Shh. Because there are a lot of people who believe that if you are eating keto, then there is no limit. But we disagree with that notion that keto is a free-for-all for steak and all this kind of stuff. You have to eat less than you were before, or you will just gain it back and more. That rhymes, but it's true. If you lost 20 pounds, you have to eat like a person that weighs 20 pounds less. If you eat like a person that weighs 20 pounds more, you will become 20 pounds more. And keto is a great way to eat less because fat is supposed to fill you up sooner than carbs. And so you eat less overall, which means you eat less calories, which means you lose weight. I will always believe that I need to eat way less now than I did when I was on keto a couple years ago, or I will become bigger. You can gain weight on keto, so you probably are eating too much. There's also something to be said, in my opinion, that every pound that you lose will be harder than the last, unfortunately.
But it also means more.
It means more when you lose it, but it takes longer. So, I mean, if it's been a week or a day, I weighed myself this morning, and yesterday I lost something, and today I didn't. That does not count.
It's water weight.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a fluctuation. You know what I mean? So give yourself some time. Don't be obsessed with the scale. You become obsessed thinking that this number is going to make you happy and this is going to be fulfilling and that you're going to, I just need to get there and then I won't complain anymore. That's never the case.
The goalpost always moves forward.
It does. And then guess what? Afterward, you have the joy of actually maintaining, which is not as fun as losing, right? I mean, it's even harder.
Yeah.
It's even harder to maintain than it is to lose. So you're literally not even at the end when you lose all the weight. Now you just have to stay the same weight, which is just as hard as losing the weight. So you're in this for a long haul. Get ready.
But it's definitely worth it.
It is worth it.
I don't want it to go down at a negative point. It's definitely worth it.
It is worth it.
The struggle is worth it in the end. I would never want to go back to the way I was feeling before.
can we just stop? There's all kinds of sighing and whining and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so the next question that we get all the time is, do we do intermittent fasting? And we always kind of say that we do 1 meal a day, but we don't always do 1 meal a day. It's like sometimes we do have 2 meals a day, but most days we try to have 1 meal a day, and we try to have it later in the afternoon. And during that meal, we eat as much as we want that's keto friendly until we feel satiated, right? But if I feel like I really want to have another meal, or if I feel like, hey, I got up super early, I was out all day, I could really, really go for something, I'm not really stringent on it. It's more like, what can I do for myself today? What do I feel like doing? There are some days where I'll do a 24-hour fast where I don't eat at all.
It's intuitive eating.
Yeah, it's intuitive. It's not any which way or the other. This might not work for any of you guys, though. Like, we are so far deep into this that what we do may not apply to you, but it could be something that you guys look forward to, that some days you don't eat at all, other days you have 2 meals. Like, we cook on this channel all the time, and sometimes it ain't good. I'm not wasting my only meal on that.
Well, okay, I also think that's partly like, I'm thinking, what could I really go for?
Right.
Meh. Nothing. Nothing's calling my name. And that might sound depressing, but honestly, to me, that is freedom. Sometimes my husband's like, what do you want to eat for dinner? And I say, I literally do not care, as long as it's protein and a vegetable.
Right.
You pick whatever, I'll find something on the menu.
Yeah.
It's just something to get through, and I'm not going to think too much about it.
I mean, but someday, I would say that we eat really well.
Right. We eat well.
But a lot of the meals that we eat are very simple, and they're not going to do it for us like our meals used to before keto, where we felt like we were really, really indulgent. Right. And that's fine, because, sometimes during the weekend we are cooking things that are pretty indulgent, and that way we eat simply most of the time, and then we really don't have to worry if we have like keto treats or anything like that, because most of the time we stick to whole foods. So that's why we call ourselves technically keto. Merch linked down below. I'm just kidding.
So the final question that we have here is, do you guys want to lose more weight? And that's a tricky question, I think. For me, of course I would love to lose 10, 15 more pounds. Am I in like a rush to get there? Not really, because I'm like happy with the way that I am right now, which is hard to say because I've always been battling with my weight all of my life. So to feel like I'm not depressed by looking in the mirror, I feel like that's an accomplishment too. I feel comfortable. I am a size small to medium, where I was always like an extra large or a 2XL or something like that. So I'm just trying to like enjoy this stage of my life. Is there a time in the future where I might go hardcore and try to get back down to like a really lower goal weight? Then yeah, I could. But for now, I'm pretty happy with where I am. What about you?
I have gained back about 7 or 8 pounds. I might want to lose like 5 of that. I've been pretty relaxed about what I've been doing, and I would say I used to gain 2 pounds a week. And so gaining 7 pounds over a couple of years to me is not a big deal. And I've just been enjoying eating relaxed for the most part. My little sister is getting married in May. And so I may want to,
Yeah, that's true.
become a little strict. We might share with you guys like how we're going to do it. I think that I could lose it pretty fast if I really tried. But the problem is, when I lost weight and I got to my goal weight, my supposed goal weight, I really tried hard to get there. I used a sauna blanket a couple times a day, did alternate day fasting, I ate really clean, and then I found that it was very, very hard to stay there. And the second I started to be relaxed at all, it was like, oh, I don't think I could get below that. I'm 5'11", I was like 160 pounds. I didn't know how I was going to get lower than that. So I wouldn't mind losing like 5 pounds again or going back down to there, but it was very hard to stay there. At some point, it's like, do you want to enjoy what you're doing, or do you want to lose weight?
I have something to add to this. Thor. There are seasons to weight loss. He does not always look like that 365 days a year. He goes through phases where there's an Avengers movie coming up, or his movie, and he is in the gym 5 times a week, whatever, eating very cleanly to get into the shape of being Thor. And then after it's done filming, he's relaxed, and then he still looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. But he's not Thor until he goes into the season of training.
Someone tag Chris Helmsworth in this video.
Love you. But I'm just trying to say that you go through phases where you really want to be strict, and there's sometimes when you just want to relax and be where you are. As long as you're not gaining so much, I feel like that's okay. And I don't think that's what a lot of people will tell you. You're going to go through phases of weight loss, and just be okay with where you are. If you're losing weight, you're a healthy weight. Stop obsessing, because no one can just be Thor all the time.
I would say a fluctuation of like 10 pounds over a year is nothing. I mean, you would eat and then food would be scarce and you would lose it and then you would eat it when you found it.
Seasonally, right.
Seasonally, right. And so you go through seasons. You're going to go through seasons in life where you're super motivated, seasons in life where something terrible happens or you revert back to old habits or the holiday comes up and throws you off. And the important part is just to keep on going, even if it's like, I'm going to eat dirty keto. I'm going to eat lazy keto. Just get back on. And that's what we preach here on our channel.
So please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to both of our channels. If you guys want to see other videos by us, you can click on one of the videos on the screen and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily. And we are the Keto Twins signing out.